Today we're going to be tying the baby Baetis. So there are a lot of great small Mayfly nymph patterns out there, from small PTs to Juju Baetises to micro Mays, and I kind of wanted to come up with my own, so I came up with this baby Baetis. It's fished extremely well for me over the past 2 months on our local tailwaters. If you're a fly tyer, I encourage you to tie it up, and if you're not or don't want to tie this one, it can be purchased at my shop at TroutFliesUtah.com. So in the vise, I've got a size 18 straight shank nymph hook. I tie this in from sizes 18 down to 22s. For the 18s, I use a 2mm tungsten bead, but for the 20s and 22s, I use a 1.5mm bead. For the tail on this fly, I'm using Coq de Leon and medium pardo. I'm using about 4 to 5 fibers and just securing it to the top of the hook and then wrapping forward here. So I wrap over the fibers up the shank of the hook to build up a little bit of bulk on the body. Wrap up to the bead and snip off the butt end. For ribbing material, I'm going to be tying in a piece of small UTC ultra wire in black and just touching wraps back down towards the tail. I stick the front end of the wire into the bead to kind of hold it in place and not have any gaps along the body. So I'm building up a little bit of a taper with my thread here. The fly is going to have a thread body. And then I'll take segmenting wraps up the length of the body to build up a segmented ribbed look. Really only the back 3 or 4 wraps of wire that matter, because we're going to be covering up the front third. So once you've made your segmenting wraps, take a few thread wraps and secure it behind the bead, and then helicopter off the remaining wire. Next, I'm going to take some Loon UV clear resin. This is the flow. Just cover up the body, pinch off the excess, and then cure it up. Next, I'm going to tie in a Goose Biot. I've snipped off the brittle tip and then tied in about a third of the way down. This is going to be our wing case. I like the look of the Goose Biot. It kind of gives almost a split wing look. After that, I'm going to tie in a short length of mini centipede legs. This is a speckled tan color. I'm going to try and get them oriented so they create a half X on each side. When doing this, it's important not to tie it in all the way to the bead, or else it'll kind of angle back. The front leg will angle towards the tail. So you leave a slight gap in between where you finish tying it in and the bead, and then you can take a few wraps of thread in front of it to build up a little bit of a ramp so it stays in that X shape. Then go ahead and tie in the other side to complete the X. So you can see how it makes a nice X figure there. Next, I'm going to create a short little dubbing noodle with microfine dubbing and PMD olive. Gray would also be a good color to do the thorax with. So I'm just going to create a little bit of a thorax. Doesn't have to be that much. Then pull all your legs back and get your thread up ahead of it. You can kind of jostle the legs around and make sure they're where you want them. Then I'm going to take that Goose Biot wing case and wrap over it and secure it behind the bead. Try not to trap any of the legs. The thread needs to be in front of them so they keep their orientation. Then I'm going to go in, do a 6-turn whip finish. It makes it easier if you pull all the materials back. I haven't stripped off the Biot yet because it's nice to kind of get in front of it. It looks a little bit cleaner. So anchor your knot. Then you can go in and strip off or cut off the wing case and the thread. The last step is going to be to go and cut your legs to length. You can keep them as long or as short as you want. I kind of just cut them to where I think it looks proportional to the body. And there you have it. That is the baby Baetis. So like I've been doing with my recent tying videos, let's go into some fish catches on this fly. There we go. Oh, that's a nice one. God, small flies, scary. I can get this guy on the reel. Slow and steady, Bob. Kind of let this grass patch float by before I swing him over here. It's a nice fish. Not quite. If we could get his head up. There we go. That's a nice one. On my little Baetis again. Let's get the release on this guy. Nice one. There he goes. Little guy. And the little Baetis. Come on. There we go. Little guy. We're going to get this guy on the reel. Nice, another nice rainbow. They're chunky. What was he on? He was on the baby Baetis. Little size 20 Baetis. Still need to do a tutorial on it. Get out of there. Not. There we go. Not ideal. Nice bow though. There you go, buddy. You're good. Again, if you'd like to purchase this fly, it's available at TroutFliesUtah.com. I hope you enjoyed this tying tutorial. If you did, please like the video down below, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks and stay safe.